Welcome to the last session of diuretics. In this session, we discussed about the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors and the osmotic diuretics. First, we can start with the carbonic anhydrase inhibitors. They are known as a mild diuretic, and the basic function of carbonic anhydrase enzyme is to helpful for the reabsorption of bicarbonate ion. This enzyme is present at not only at a renal tubular cell, but they are also present at gastric mucosa, ciliary body of eye, RBC, and the brain, and where they can produce a different action. We call the action of carbonic anhydrase enzyme at renal tubular cell, where the presence of this enzyme can split it out the carbonic acid which is formed into an H2O and CO2. That H2O and CO2 cross the membrane inside the cell. They can again join to form a bicarbonate ion and H plus ion. So by this way, the reabsorption of bicarbonate ion is taken place. If acetazolamide is administered, acetazolamide inhibit that carbonic anhydrase enzyme which is present in a renal tubular cell. Inhibition of that enzyme can prevent the reabsorption of bicarbonate ion, as well as they can also prevent the reabsorption of sodium ion as well. So along with bicarbonate ion, some amount of sodium ion is also eliminated out with the help of acetazolamide. When we can say that more amount of tubular fluid contain a bicarbonate ion, that makes a urine alkaline, as well as inside a body it produces metabolic acidosis. So that when there is a metabolic acidosis is produced, the filtration of bicarbonate ion at a glomerulus is reduced. Therefore, we can say that the action of this diuretic is a self-limiting. Uh, that means whenever there is a more acidosis is produced, the filtration rate of bicarbonate ion from the glomerulus is reduced. So the action of acetazolamide, we can see it is a self-limiting action. Other indication of this acetazolamide, as they are present, enzyme is present at a gastric mucosa, they can decrease the gastric acid secretion, but that action is not much marked observed, and due to that they are not helpful for a treatment of peptic ulcer. They can also reduce the intraocular pressure, as carbonic anhydrase enzyme is responsible for a synthesis of aqueous humor. Inhibition of that enzyme can reduce the aqueous humor synthesis, and ultimately they can reduce the intraocular pressure. So the acetazolamide is one of the congener to be useful for treatment of glaucoma. And another indication is that they can increase a seizure threshold. In case of epilepsy, we know that whenever more and more bicarbonate ion is eliminated out, there is a development of acidosis. Due to that acidosis, when the pH become more acidic, at higher acidic pH, the seizure threshold is enhanced, and that enhancement of seizure threshold, that effect is helpful specifically for the treatment of epilepsy. In case of resistant epilepsy, where other anti-epileptic drugs are ineffective, at that time acetazolamide can be added with the other anti-epileptic drugs. Adverse drug reaction which are produced is they produce acidosis, hypokalemia, drowsiness, and bone marrow depression. Regarding their therapeutic application, just a recall of the thing. They can helpful for a treatment of glaucoma by decreasing intraocular tension. They can helpful to alkaline urine in case of urinary tract infection. Just to make a urine alkaline, so the concentration of antimicrobial agent in a renal tubule were increased. So to make a urine alkaline, They are helpful in case of urinary tract infection, to promote excretion of acidic drug, specifically in case of poisoning of acidic drug. If we can make a urine alkaline, the elimination of those acidic drug is enhanced. And in case of epilepsy, they can raise the seizure threshold. And another indication is they are helpful for a treatment of acute mountain sickness. At high altitude, there is a low level of oxygen, and that decreased air pressure may produce a various symptom because your body is not adjusted at low level of oxygen. Uh, Due to that, various symptom attitude sickness were started like nausea, vomiting, lightheadedness, shortness of breath, insomnia, and there is a rapid pulse rate. Acetazolamide is helpful to prevent all those symptoms. How it is helpful? At high altitude, there is a low level of oxygen and that produces respiratory alkalosis. Due to that respiratory alkalosis, all the symptoms were started. If acetazolamide is administered, acetazolamide increase more bicarbonate ion elimination that produce acidosis. So the blood become more acidic and increase acidosis can stimulate the ventilation. So gradually the shortness of breath and all the symptoms which were started that can be suppressed. So they are helpful as a prophylactic drug for the treatment of acute mountain sickness. So for that, it is given as a prophylaxis. It should be started 5 days before at night in a dose of 250 milligram once a day. If symptoms were already started and you can start the administration of acetazolamide, it may take longer period of time to produce a beneficial effect. And the last group, that is a osmotic diuretic. As their name is osmotic diuretic, by their they doesn't interfere with any transport pump at tubular level, but their physical action, by its physical property, they can retain a water isoosmotically in a renal tubular fluid, and by this way they produce diuretic effect. Congener like mannitol, glycerol, urea, and azosorbide, they all are known as an osmotic diuretic. They are by their physical action they produce osmotic effect. Regarding their mechanism, they can retain water isosmotically in a proximal tubular cell, as well as it is said that they also having inhibitory transport effect at ascending limb of loop of Henle. So that inhibitory processes at ascending limb of loop of Henle may leads to a elimination of water along with some cation, anion and cation, they are also eliminated out, and ultimately more diuretic effect is produced. So there is a expansion of extracellular fluid volume, and if extracellular fluid volume is enhanced, renal blood flow towards a medulla is also increased. Regarding the pharmacokinetic parameter, mannitol is not absorbed orally. It is always administered by the parenteral route by intravenous administration. It is given as a 10 to 20% solution. The half-life is half to 1.5 hours. So it is given as an IV infusion. The thing is that it is contraindicated specifically in case of pulmonary edema, which is associated with the left ventricular failure. When we can say that pulmonary edema, which is associated with the left ventricular failure, heart is unable to pump sufficient blood, and due to that there is a edematous state is generated. If osmotic diuretic is administered, they can withdraw water from the intracellular compartment and they can expand the extracellular fluid volume. But Failing heart is unable to pump it out that much amount of load, and ultimately it leads to worsening of the condition. So they are contraindicated if there is a pulmonary edema, as well as they are also contraindicated in case of acute tubular necrosis or in case of anuria. If kidney is incapable of forming a urine, and if you are administering a osmotic diuretic, it may produce harmful effect. Just to prevent development of acute renal failure, we can administer osmotic diuretic, but if kidney cannot form a urine and administration of osmotic diuretic, that may lead to an unbeneficial effect. Therapeutic uses, yeah, indicated in case of to reduce intracranial tension as well as to reduce intraocular tension. By its osmotic effect, they can encourage a movement of water from intracellular compartment towards the extracellular compartment, and they can reduce intracranial tension as well as intraocular tension. They are also helpful to maintain a GFR and urine flow in impending acute renal failure. But if kidney is incapable of forming a urine, administration of osmotic diuretic may leads to unbeneficial effect, and that is why they are contraindicated in case of anuria or in case of uh, acute tubular necrosis. They are also indicated to counteract the low osmolality of plasma and extracellular fluid. Because of its osmotic action, they can enhance the osmolality of plasma by its physical property. So this is all about the osmotic diuretic as well as the carbonic anhydrase inhibitor drugs. So in a summary, we can recall all the diuretics. Diuretics can exert their effect by inhibition of reabsorption processes at different segment in a renal tubule. Property of loop diuretic and the thiazide diuretic, they can increase elimination of sodium, potassium, magnesium and hydrogen ion. Additionally, they can increase the lipid level, they can increase the glucose level as well as they can increase the uric acid level. Furosemide possess a vasodilatory action through prostaglandin, so they are helpful for a pulmonary edema which is associated with the left ventricular failure. Thiazide are used for a treatment of recurrent calcium stone in the kidney, and that action is opposite towards a high ceiling diuretic. Action of carbonic anhydrase inhibitor is a self-limiting. Due to acidosis, the filtration rate of bicarbonate ion is reduced from proximal tubular from glomerulus. Spironolactone produce a maximum effect when the aldosterone level is high, like in case of congestive heart failure, in case of cirrhosis of liver, where the aldosterone level is higher, at that time the maximum effect is produced. Amiloride is more potent and the longer acting than the trimethoprim, and mannitol can be used to maintain a GFR in the impending renal failure. So if we can say that if edema is associated with the congestive heart failure, renal failure or pulmonary edema, the drug of choice is furosemide. If edema is because of cerebral edema, the drug of choice is osmotic diuretic mannitol. If diabetic insipidus is there, specifically nephrogenic, then the drug of choice is thiazide diuretic. If there is a recurrent calcium stone is there, drug of choice is thiazide diuretics. If acute congestive glaucoma is there, drug of choice is acetazolamide. And if case of acute mountain sickness, drug of choice is acetazolamide. All about the diuretics. Thank you.